As a lover and learner of languages, learning a second, a third, whatever language it is that you're going after opens many doors, Ed Boys.
Hello, Ed Boys. Many doors, yes?
Whether you're looking to go overseas and to try out your degree in the foreign markets, or maybe you're looking to take a gap year of a year or two, go overseas, find yourself, go to India, drop a lot of acid. There's a great way to afford more acid. Usually it's teaching your first language abroad. For a career or a short-term side hustle, much like Ubering, if you're in a foreign country, tutoring or teaching in English is a freaking unbelievable side hustle. And it's a great way to get your foot in the door in another country. If you're just trying to get out there, you haven't decided what you're going to do in life, maybe tutoring a little English on the side's a good way to make ends meet. But what if I could tell you don't have to go through those hundreds of dollars of certifications? Sometimes the mainstream one's going up to $2,000 US, but you can do one for 40 bucks. You can do it on your schedule, entirely online, anywhere in the world that you are, and it's accepted worldwide. If that sounds good to you, let's talk a bit about the TEFL. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Chad, and of course, this week I want to talk a bit about the TEFL, but it's hard for me to get there unless I tell you quickly a bit about my story. See, I went over to live in Japan full-time. I was studying the language at a language school, and they have very strict requirements in Japan. You can only work up to like 21 hours back then, so you couldn't exactly work full-time, and pretty much anything that you worked or did went directly to feed yourself. Now, my Japanese back then, of course, I was in school, was not fluent. I couldn't do anything that maybe I was trained to do back home yet, because I wasn't good enough at the language. So it kind of limits your options. But I ended up, after starving for a little bit, not really starving, but getting real close to like, wow, this is getting close. I had a friend recommend English tutoring. Now, I am not a teacher. My degree's not in teaching. I didn't understand English as well as I understood Japanese at that point, to be completely honest. But I found a lovely family who I'm still friends with today. We still go out to eat. We go on trips whenever I'm in Japan together. They're amazing. And they hired me at $20 an hour to tutor their children. Now, when you're a starving artist type of person in Japan, trying to learn the language, further your life and career and your passion, making $40 to sit down with two kids and just talk to them in English was pretty sweet. A couple weeks ago, I was actually talking to some people looking to teach English inside Japan in my Discord. If you haven't checked out my Discord server, you should. It's got like about 400 really sweet people in it, which led me to think about what are some other countries doing for teaching English. I know Japan, you need a bachelor's degree to get a work visa, which is fine. But is that the landscape everywhere? And it turns out it's not. Tons of Asian countries issue some form of either teaching or work visa just for someone that is English teaching certified. That's not a degree, it's a certification. And in fact, in Japan, tons of schools hire people, although not for specifically a work visa. If you're over there on military, spouse visa, maybe you're a student already and you're looking for a side hustle. The big requirement that a lot of these people want is some sort of certification. Just to give you guys an introductory level overview into what people think about these certifications, there are 5 that tend to be universal around the world. These 5 are the ones that people look for on applications. Now, there's more than this, but these tend to be the standard ones. Ordering from easiest to get to hardest to get, you're looking at TEFL, TESOL, CELTA, and Delta. But a little insider baseball, most people really only focus on 2 of these, and they're for 2 different purposes. You have the TEFL and the CELTA. Now let's start with the most difficult to get, but the most legit. The CELTA usually takes about a 5-week course. It costs $2,000 US, at least at the time of filming this. And it's not online. You have to go to a place that has a course, and if you're too far from a place that has a course, well, you're kind of SOL. Now, if you are trying to get into English teaching as a career, if you're trying to go overseas and maybe start a language school or really try and this is the direction I want my life to go, you probably should get a CELTA. But if you're already overseas and you're looking for a side hustle, maybe you don't know if you want to teach forever. You want to go over for a year or 2 somewhere in the world, see if teaching English as a second language is for you. Why would you spend $2,000 and have to move somewhere, frankly, to take a 5-week course? That's where the TEFL comes in. The TEFL is entirely online. It can be done at your own pace. It usually takes between 3 and 6 months. Most TEFL courses have 2 options. You have a 120-hour standard course and a 160-hour kind of, I don't know, master course, and they're very cheap, costing as little as $40. Yeah, you heard me right. $40, that's how much I paid. Now, I'm not interested in going over and teaching English anymore, but I like reviewing language stuff for this channel, so I actually paid my own $40 to take one of these courses to review it, to share it with you, to tell you what I think about it. Now, I'm not quite done yet because it's 160 hours and that's going to take me a while. And I'll definitely let you guys know when I end up finishing that. There will be a review on this channel for my experience with it. But you can clearly see, and these are not like, oh, this is like a University of Phoenix degree and a Harvard degree. That's not the difference. There are schools that do require at least a TEFL, but don't necessarily require a CELTA to go to. Now, I did some research, and I've left links down below in the description if you're interested to do your own research, but I checked 4 different countries. Japan, which tends to be my forte if you haven't checked out my channel. China has a huge market for English teachers right now and is still Asian. I checked Russia, which are starting to get into more of Europe. English is still a second major language there, and they have obviously tons of resources that they want people to teach English. And then I picked Spain, just kind of arbitrarily. I wanted a Latin Western country in a Latin Western language. All of them, I had to find at least 3 schools, and I did, that were hiring people not based on a bachelor's degree or on any program you had, but on a TEFL specific certification. Now, I can't speak about visas. I'm not a Spain visa expert. I don't know what you need to go there. But I can tell you, to work at that job, the TEFL's all you need. And that's online, your own pace, $40-ish. And if you don't believe me, I will leave a link down below where I found my certified TEFL course for $40. There's a lot of places trying to get you to do it for $100, $200, $500. Ugh. Don't do that. Check my links down below. And by the way, none of this is affiliated by anybody. Nobody's paying me to send you to these websites to take this course. I'm just doing this because I want to help you guys. I know there's people watching this who plan to, either short-term or long-term, go over to Japan, go over to Asia, travel to wherever they're going to teach English, and I want to help and support you. Now, this won't be the last video. Like I said earlier, give me a month or 2 to finish the certification. I'll make an update video on what exactly it was like and how I liked the service I did, and I'll actually give you the specific site that I'm using to get it, because there's a bunch of sites you can use to get the TEFL certification. But that needs to wait, and if you're willing to wait, maybe consider subscribing down below. The video will be pinged straight to your inbox. It'll be like, Chad Zimmerman finally accomplishes something worthy of my time. It won't actually say that, but that's what it'll mean to you, and then you can click and watch the video then. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or compliments, feel free to leave them in the comment box down below. I personally read all of them. If you like this video, like it down below. You can check out any of my 400 plus other videos about Japanese, Japan, traveling and working abroad, learning languages, being as professionally unprofessional as I can be. I put out a video every single Wednesday, more or less to that effect. You can check out my Discord links down below. We have a massive community of just really awesome language learners and studiers. Thank you so much to the Manga Club, the patrons. Check out Zimcara Flyrod. You can purchase my books on Amazon. Yes, I make books about language and learning and culture and history. I'm sure I have 30,000 more links to give out, but that's good enough for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're subscribed, stay after the outro for the subscriber-only outro. But if you're not subscribed, just know I still love you. If you weren't a camera I'm looking at right now, I'd pinch your cheeks. Thank you so much for watching. Love hard, love deep, and I will see you all next week. Bye-bye. Hey, thank you so much for staying after. This is the subscriber-only outro, which means if you're watching it, you're subscribed. And if you've been watching long enough and subscribed long enough, you've probably seen various iterations of this background. Some have had more things or less things. The newest space, I actually took down a couple things just because I didn't have room for it with this new lens. And I want to talk about this because I often, back when these were up, got a bunch of hate mail for these. And so I want to show you what these are. I'm sure you guys remember this. It used to be kind of around here. And again, those students that I used to teach, the ones that were just the absolute best in the world, they're the nicest people ever. I did not get permission to use their names, so I'm not going to. When I was teaching them, we had a calligraphy course that they wanted to do with me, and I was still learning Japanese at the time, obviously. And these were pretty young kids. At the time, I think the youngest, who was the one that made it, was in like the 2nd or the 3rd grade. And I didn't know how to write my name in Japanese other than katakana. And so the family came up with what is now considered my name in Japanese that I use for kanji. Chi, ya, do. Now, obviously, this looks a little woogity because, you know, a 2nd grader made it. But chi is wisdom, ya is arrows, and do is like labor and hard work. And so I guess the meaning that they gave me, I have a little note that they wrote about it in a goodbye card, is that, you know, because they knew I was doing YouTube at the time, and they're like, your hard work is sending out, you know, thousands of arrows of wisdom. Because chi also can kind of, it sounds like 1,000, right? So it's thousands of arrows of wisdom to people all over the world to help them. And so that's what they called my name. That's also why this kind of looks, you can tell the kanji's not spaced right. You know, 2nd grader made it, it's fine. But I took it down just because so many people were focusing on that and not on what I had to say. But it's a really great memory. I actually still write them all the time online, and I can't wait to see them. I'm going to see them again, hopefully right when Japan opens up. For the rest of you, the rest of my subscribers, thank you so much for watching. I hope that connects us a little bit more. Maybe get to know a bit more about me, my history, you can understand why some of the more stuff is up on my wall. One of these days, I'll probably go over what's actually on my wall. But not today. Today, you've had enough of me. I'll see you guys next week. Love hard, love deep. Oh, I already said it. I guess I'll see you all next week. Mwah! Bye-bye.